No, but this one is.
Nice seeing
The
you.
one that I'm attached to, the black one.
What's the green one for?
I don't know. I pulled that out too, and then I plugged this in and went, okay, this one works, so Jackie can use that too.
It should be lit up, right?
Mine was set up unless they unplugged it. Shoot.
No?
Did somebody unplug it? Because I plugged it in and it worked.
You unplug?
Not me. It was working.
Well, we can probably have them check.
Oh, shoot, where'd they go?
Yeah, now mine's not working yet. So it was probably Connie or Tom.
It's not
I knew
me.
you were gonna say that.
Not me, because I'm not plugged in.
Tom, I'm not.
I'm plugged in now.
Did you unplug us from something?
Thank you, sir.
Maybe it was
I,
Tom.
I can work on that after we do roll call for you, just to make sure that it's all
Okay, well,
clear.
we're going downstairs so they can
Yeah,
play
yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Is everybody good? Everybody got power down there?
No, not yet, but they can figure it out when we're down in closed session.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not on either.
Probably the green cord that needs to be plugged in somewhere. We don't
And it's
care.
probably me. I'm probably the common denominator down here. But I'm not plugged in either.
It was 5:02 already. Yep. Are you guys ready?
Any of
Yep.
Ready?
Any of us.
Are we live?
Yep. You are live.
Good evening. I would like to call the September 23rd, 2025 closed session city council meeting to order. I would like to point out that this meeting is being hosted through a live stream on the city's website. And I want to remind the council to have their microphones turned on and positioned so the audience can hear. City clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Lodge.
Here.
Councilmember Males.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Here.
Mayor Peterson.
Here.
All members are present.
At this time, members of the public may only comment on an item appearing on the closed session agenda. Please adhere to the following when addressing the council. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes or less. Comments should be directed to the council as a whole and not directed to individual council members. City clerk, are there any registered speakers?
Mayor, there are no registered speakers.
Council will now proceed to closed session. Thank you for joining us. A report of the closed session will occur after the deliberations. Good evening. I would like to call the September 23rd, 2025 regular City Council meeting to order. I would like to point out that this meeting is being hosted through live stream on the city's website. I want to remind council to have their microphones turned on and positioned so the audience can hear. City Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Clark.
Present.
Councilmember Lodge.
Here.
Councilmember Males.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Here.
Mayor Peterson.
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. The invocation will be by Pastor Dale Garland of Hope in the Valley Church, after which Council Member Males will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to be here today to conduct business for the city of Hemet. And Lord, we thank you for the blessings that you've granted our city, the beautiful community that we live in, the people who care, those that are involved, our police department, our fire department. Lord, we ask you now that you would grant our city council wisdom as they make decisions for our city, that they would make decisions not based upon their own personal desires or needs, but God, they would make decisions that would honor you and would be best for the city. And so, Lord, we pray this and we trust you in Jesus' very precious name. Amen.
Remain standing, please, or standing, and face the flag, and we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We will now move to the city attorney's report from closed session. City attorney, can we have a report out?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to report out from closed session from the September 9th, 2025 council meeting. City Council met in closed session on September 9th, 2025. Litigation direction was given by consensus. And now for discussion item for item 5A for today's closed session item on September 23rd, 2025. City Council met in closed session and no reportable action was given. For item number 5B, City Council met in closed session. Settlement direction was given by consensus. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, city attorney. We are going to switch communications and presentations, so we will have the presentations first, and at further meetings, we are going to have that format. So we are going to do presentations first. The first proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month will be presented by Council Member Males to Felipe, I'm just going to say R. He has a very complicated last name of Felipe's Classic Auto Glass.
Hello, hello. Your family can come up. Family can come up if they'd like. No? No. Wait a minute. No, I'm okay. How you doing, sir?
Good.
Good. Right here. Face the audience.
Thank you.
Okay. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Felipe is an auto glass man here off of Florida and does a great job, and he caters to the seniors and helps them out a lot. So he deserves this proclamation for all the work he does for our citizens and helps them. And especially when they don't have the money to pay, he calls me. No, just kidding. I'm kidding. Anyways, National Hispanic Heritage Month. Whereas Hispanic Americans can trace their roots back centuries to, I have trouble with this word, to indigenous peoples and settlers of the New World who were on this continent long before the founding of our nation. And whereas millions of Hispanic people have come to the United States from Mexico, Puerto Rico, Cuba, other Caribbean regions, Central and South America, and Spain, creating and enriching our American culture. And whereas honoring Hispanic heritage nationally began in 1968 when President Lyndon B. Johnson proclaimed Hispanic Heritage Week. 20 years later, President Ronald Reagan signed legislation in 1988 expanding the observance to Hispanic Heritage Month, which was first celebrated as a month-long event beginning in 1989, spanning September 15th through October 15th. And whereas September 15th is the anniversary of the independence of the Latin American countries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua. In addition, Mexico and Chile celebrated their independence days on September 16th and September 18th, respectively. And whereas the city of Hemet celebrates the gifts of Hispanic culture and heritage, including a deep commitment to family and community, a strong work ethic, and an entrepreneurial spirit, and an unwavering belief in the American dream. Now, therefore, Jackie Peterson, Mayor of the City of Hemet, along with the Hemet City Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th through October 15th, 2025 as National Hispanic Heritage Month, and encourage the community to celebrate the strength derived from our diversity and to honor and to honor a shared spirit of self-determination, dignity, and respect for cultural heritage. Thank you. Felipe, we thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Anyone going to take a picture? You can come up here and take a picture if you'd like. No? No? Oh, show it more right there.
I am shaking.
2, 3.
Thank
The
you.
hands of a hard-working man. Yeah, go ahead, say something. In Spanish, in English, whatever.
In Spanish or English? I think I'm going to try English and see if you guys understand me. I'm going to speak Spanglish, okay? Well, I'd like to thank you guys. I've been here in Hemet since 1988. I raised a beautiful family. There are 4 of my kids over here with me. They were born and raised in Hemet. They love Hemet and would like to stay in Hemet. They said that once you live in Hemet, you cannot go away from Hemet. Always you're going to return. Even if you guys walk away, you guys come back to Hemet. I love Hemet. This is my city, and it will be my city until I pass away. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Have a good one.
Thank you.
I do not see our recipient for the Suicide Prevention Month proclamation, so we will hold that one till next meeting. Our next one will be for Eastern Municipal Water District's 75th anniversary. And the final presentation will be by, presented by Councilmember Tom Lodge to Aaron Guerrero from Eastern Municipal Water District.
Why are you laughing at me?
How are you doing?
I am so much better than I deserve. Whereas Eastern Municipal Water District, EMWD, was established October 16th, 1950 through the public vote by San Jacinto Valley property owners to help facilitate groundwater in the region. Whereas in the 75 years, you weren't there that long, no, EMWD has grown from a small agency to California's 6th largest public retail water agency, the 7th largest wastewater agency, serving 1 million customers across 682 square miles. And whereas EMWD serves one of the fastest growing regions in California and successfully balances the needs of current customers while investing in the infrastructure and resource management necessary to serve the significant population growth, and whereas through collaboration, partnerships with the city of Hemet, EMWD has ensured a secure water supply for future residents of Hemet that will help support the economic strength, protect public health, and promote environmental stewardship. And whereas EMWD has taken the leading role in state and federal advocacy efforts, routinely engaging in its elected officials to advance policies, positions that are in the best interests of customers and the industry. And whereas to create a more secure water supply future for the region, EMWD has advanced a wide range of infrastructure investments to serve the communities, including a widely recognized recycled water and groundwater desalination programs. And whereas, as a result of these investments, EMWD is well positioned to continue a trusted partner for the city of Hemet for the next 75 years. Therefore, our mayor, Jackie Peterson, and the rest of the city council here do proclaim October 16th, 2025, Eastern Municipal Water District 75th anniversary, and urge all residents to join in recognizing and celebrating EMWD's for its 75 years of service, delivering safe, reliable water, wastewater, and recycled water programs. On a side note,
That was a mouthful. Hi, everybody. I'm Erin Guerrero. I'm a Public Affairs Manager for Eastern Municipal Water District, and I just want to say a few words on behalf of our Board of Directors and our General Management and Executive Staff. Thank you so much for acknowledging this historic 75th anniversary. We really value the city's partnership. We look forward to, on the actual day of celebration, October 16th, we are having a State of the District, and I know many of you will be attending, and we just really appreciate the value of the partnership and the community that we serve together. Look forward to another 75 years, right? Thank you.
thank you very much.
And tonight we have a special presentation that will be by Chief of Police Michael Ariano to Officer Marco Valencia.
All right, I'll try not to cut out here. Markham, go ahead and come up. I just want to take this moment really quick to publicly recognize one of our very own. I know you guys all heard about the unrest in LA recently, the most recent unrest. It's happening on a consistent basis, seems like. Marco here is part of the National Guard. I'll read it here. This evening, we are proud to recognize Officer Marco Valencia for his exemplary service and dedication while deployed in support of Operation Task Force 51 with the California National Guard's 79th Infantry Brigade Combat Team. Officer Valencia demonstrated exceptional leadership and professionalism while assisting in the preparation and training of multiple units for civil unrest and riot control operations in Los Angeles region. His commitment and discipline were instrumental in ensuring mission readiness and effectiveness during this critical operation. On behalf of the Hemet Police Department and our community, it is an honor to present Officer Valencia with the Chief of Police citation and recognition for his outstanding duty, discipline, and service to our country. So I thank you, Marco. I really appreciate being a veteran myself, serving both the city of Hemet and also serving our country as well. So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We will now move to communications from the public. There is a 3-minute per person time limit for all general public comments on non-public hearing items. All who wish to speak, including council members and staff, need to be recognized by the mayor before speaking. We will take public comment for items listed on the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor. We will begin with Randy Butler, followed by John Vance.
Good evening, council. First, I'd like to say thank you for recognizing the veteran from Vietnam, that the fighter pilot, I believe. However, you need to understand that there are several Vietnam veterans in this city, as I am. 19 months in the jungles of Vietnam, I was dog handler between Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand. So it would be nice to recognize the rest of us. I think that's only fair, seeing as how you've approved a month for the Heritage Month. I don't have a problem with that. But there are several veterans in this city that need to be acknowledged like everyone else. I think that would be appropriate. The second question I have is, how much is the annex going to cost the city of Hemet? Does anyone have that answer? At this time, how much of the taxes will go up to the people that are annexed for duty, for, police, fire, anything like that? How much are we going to be taxed on that? What will the additional costs go to city businesses? I understand at some point in time, Hemet requests $7,000 for a permit, but yet the county is only $5,000. Why? Why are you so high? What about water and trash? I understand EMWD, are they going to be taking over for Lake Hemet? That would be a question I would like to know. And if this annex is going to happen, when is it supposed to happen? What is your timeline? And how will we be noticed or notified that we will be annexed? That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
And Mayor, I would like to note we have no speaker cards for item 13A. We are now in 13B for items not listed on the agenda. My apologies. The next speaker was John Vance, followed by Julie Parker, who has 12 minutes.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Pro Tem, and City Manager, City Attorney. I'm John Vance, and I want to talk about the annex, the proposed annex to the City of Hemet from the unincorporated area. My wife and I moved here about 5 months ago in April, and we fell in love with the San Jacinto Mountains, of course. It's beautiful. Don't like the heat a lot, but we're getting used to it. We were fortunate enough to find a home at the far eastern end of Florida Avenue, nice and quiet. We also soon learned that it was even more fortunate for us, as it put us further away from what we began to see as a kind of neglected area, which would probably include both San Jacinto and Hemet, not just Hemet. Although as we have driven around since then, we have been seeing a lot of very nice homes and very nice neighborhoods. Just to say that, although we feel Hemet is taking on more than it can chew with the annex, you have an area with a lot of beautiful character. There is more I would like to say, but let me say my piece I came to say. And seniors on Social Security and fixed incomes make up a huge number in the population who are most likely to suffer the most from the annex. If you want it on your consciences to be responsible for so many of our most vulnerable citizens suffering because of your vote on annexation, each of you know for a fact that annexing is a horrible and impractical thing to do, not just because of how it would harm and traumatize our seniors, but also because you all know that you should be more responsible to your own city taxpayers first,
and be more worried about getting your own city business in better working order rather than stepping into a beehive where you're guaranteed to get stung. Thank you for your attention, and use your common sense. One thing more I'd like to add, which happened to us today, actually, we got notice that they're going to add to our trash charge, which is not to do with Hemet, but we're going to now have to pay $31. We were paying $14 a month for trash, so that's not a nice thing to happen to seniors either. Thank you for your time. I appreciate that a lot. We really love it here.
Next speaker, Julie Parker, who has 12 minutes, and then followed by Mark Basket.
I have Mark's time. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am here to speak on the importance of the safety net of rent control for seniors and those on fixed incomes. For them, rent is not a luxury or discretionary expense. It is the foundation of stability and dignity. Unlike others, they cannot always simply earn more when rents rise. Without your protection, they face displacement, poverty, and homelessness. Promises by city council members and members of Hemet Rising/United of grandfathering in rent control in the city of Hemet or legally mitigating the loss of rent control during annexation are meaningless. What our seniors need are real, clear, and lasting protections by which we can value and protect our most vulnerable neighbors. I'm here to offer you the true legal details needed for rent control in Riverside County. First, I offer a legal disclaimer. This does not constitute legal advice or opinion. It's purely personal opinion and informed belief derived from research, the use of Smart GPT-5, and extensive personal experience of the author, Mark Basket, in the areas discussed. The argument, however, ignores a couple of more important things. First, I want to talk about the ethical responsibility of having affordable and livable housing for the people who started working on our society back when wages were only 5 to 10% of what they are now. They generally did not cause inflation, don't benefit from it as our upper classes can, and had no reasonable reason to expect it to occur. Nor did they generally have any voice in government decisions not to enforce immigration law and to thereby add millions of additional and unexpected people to compete in the low-end housing market. Further, California is now a worst-case example of the drawbridge. I've got mine, so raise the drawbridge before I'm forced to share with the horde of peasants. And NIMBY, not in my backyard effects. Existing homeowners generally can expect housing inflation to add significantly and disproportionately to their home equity, which is not the case with renters and/or homeless people, both of whom have zero equity and rising costs. And finally, an honest person must observe and admit that this game is rigged against the poor. When I was in elementary school, a nice tract home in Riverside was about $25,000. Today, just the government fees, licensing, regulation, and restrictions add from $50,000 to $150,000 to building a new single-family residence in Southern California. And the total cost of the median home is now $630,000 in Riverside. This is more than 25 times increase in about 60 years, which is to say, less than the lifetime of our current seniors. Further, land ownership and even availability for new building is restricted by a group of companies and entities such as the Irvine Company, the Coastal Commission, and government in general. If tenants were competing on a level playing field and a truly free market, there would be substantial new construction at a fair and competitive price to meet the current enormous demand, and then eventually rent control would not be needed. But until that happens, the old and the poor among us will need rent control, as Riverside County has recognized and tried to provide through their county ordinance number 760, which creates an example that our ethics, compassion, and fairness demand we also follow. So my first question, what is rent control, and how would we get it in an effective manner for New Hemet residents? The first thing to understand is that there is no such thing as a unitary or generic rent control, especially in California. Concepts, rules, legislation, and ordinances in this area need to be defined conceptually by defining first whether you're talking about residential, commercial, tribal, federal, etc. Then you need to understand the levels of jurisdiction being addressed: city, county, state, federal, national, or international, etc. Then if you are looking at residential, it needs to be broken down by type of residence: apartment, condo, co-op, single family, multifamily, etc. Then the type of tenancy: single night, weekly, monthly, annual, multi-year, renewable, 99-year, etc. And the type of tenant: citizenship, classification examples: Section 8, legal resident, squatter, migrant, illegal, minor, senior, dependent, ward, competency, etc. And finally, ownership. Is this government-owned, individually owned, corporate, REIT, tribal, special district, etc.? It is also equally important to know your objective and its intended duration. Generally, no individual, not even an individual attorney, knows the laws in all these areas. Local government, especially city government, including city attorneys, generally do not have the required background and experience to be truly versed in rent control. Hemet is no exception, and the law in Riverside County is very complicated. My second question, why does Riverside County particularly need rent control? We currently have effective rent control with Riverside County with respect to the unincorporated areas, meaning places which are not currently part of the city. This was the case when many people moved here expecting it to continue. However, it only applies as long as we are not in the incorporated area. Hemet is an incorporated city, so annexation into Hemet would automatically end the protection of that county ordinance. And it would do so at a time when we are the fastest growing county in Southern California, and there is an extreme backlog in available and especially affordable housing, which has been exacerbated in the past 5 years by mass illegal immigration. The Inland Empire is estimated to have a shortfall of approximately 200,000 affordable homes. According to California's Department of Housing and Community Development, Riverside County is facing a deficit of an additional estimated 127,000 affordable homes in the next 5 years. And finally, my third question. What would the necessary elements, 12 of them, to be included in the Hemet drafted and enacted rent control ordinance in order to preserve the currently existing rights of residents in unincorporated areas after being annexed into Hemet? Number one, if it is to protect the rights currently protected by the Riverside County Ordinance number 760, then it should be modeled and structured upon the Riverside County Ordinance. Number two, it may not be able to be modified or amended by any of the city council without full citizenship approval by a ballot referendum. Otherwise, it could simply be repealed at the very next council meeting. Number three, this should be done as a replacement for Hemet Ordinance number 772. A vote on this should be as a referendum done either prior to or concurrent with any vote on the proposed annexation to Hemet. This must be done before approving and forwarding any petition for annexation to the county supervisors in order to truly constitute a good faith showing. Number four, it must be proactive. That means that the burden of compliance is strictly on the landlord, even if a tenant is ignorant of its provisions. Number five, key provisions should be in every lease signed in the city, and tenants should be provided with a copy of the lease and the link to the website where it is located without charge. Number six, there must be a right to individual action. and the fact that an action was taken only against an individual tenant must be no barrier to the right to take legal action or to appeal to any authority authorized to investigate or enforce this ordinance. Number 7, increases should be limited to increases in the annual cost of living as reflected in the published rate for this local region. Number 8, capital improvements should be presumptively excluded from having any bearing on requested rental increases. Number 9, rent amount should be frozen at the rate in effect prior to the disputed rental increase during the pendency of any properly filed dispute. Number 10, retaliatory evictions against a tenant prevailing in any such dispute may be the basis for presumed punitive damages. Number 11, hearing officers shall be chosen from qualified arbitrators familiar with this area of law and practiced and conducted under the rules of the American Arbitration Association and their then applicable rules of evidence. Number 12 is an open question for us to think about. The potential exclusions, should this be limited by geography, income, type of property, or age of residence affected? These are the questions we need to think about, answer, and then fix before we commit to a course of action, which, if not fully and carefully planned out, will irretrievably destroy our city. Thank you for your attention.
Next speaker is Mark Baskett, followed by Debbie Willis. Oh, you did. Debbie Willis, you also donated your time, correct? Okay. Next speaker we have is Carla Foster, followed by George Evans. Oh, she did. Okay.
Carla donated her time
So
Thank you. Good evening, Council. Here, I'll just throw a few things at you in reference to, I had the opportunity to volunteer at the theater on Saturday night and enjoyed myself very much. The problem I see there is the food trucks, okay? It's kind of ridiculous to have the food trucks when you got brick and mortar restaurants all around the downtown Hemet area. I know it's a good thing, people enjoy it, but it's the wrong location. When I got done working inside the theater, I came out into the lobby, and all I could smell is diesel fumes. And I actually took Chuck, one of the board members, we walked out there, and the truck was right up against the wall. You know, truck is running, and those diesel fumes naturally are just being drawn around and going right into the lobby. All right? It also affects the parking. That's why I think the attendance at the theater is somewhat down, even though we had a sold-out show Saturday night. But again, attendance isn't to where it could be to capacity, especially with the dream that we're looking at, is the money that's being spent to expand that. The other thing is why is the road construction on Hemet Street, where Station 5 resides, and their apron is not complete? I mean, they can still exit the facility, but they got to go through an obstacle course to do this. I would think that that would be a major priority, and it's been sitting as a trench there for the last 2 weeks with no work being done whatsoever. So I don't know what the holdup is there. And then again, the Simpson Center that sits right here behind us, that was donated through many of local prominent residents to build that facility for our seniors, and yet it sits there dormant with a church or something in there and a Chick-fil-A sign up there, but yet here we are, a prominent senior community that is balancing out, but in the same sense, we don't have a senior center. Now, why is that when you have a building sitting right there behind this beautiful library, but yet it sits there and it's not being used? So these are just some of the things that disappoint me in seeing things that aren't being done. Last on the note is Ben. Ben is doing a great job out there at the concert series. I've been to every show. Naturally, the first one, we were planning on probably about 20,000 people with that stage 3 miles away from the beer garden. But Ben has since adjusted that, and I think some of the council people, because I did make a phone call. But again, it's nice to see. Tom was out there solo for the September 11th memorial. I was a little disappointed, but again, he did a good job. So again, these are just some of the things that I see that I want to see this town grow and become something. But right now, we got to fix what we got before we even consider taking.
Your time is.
I thank you, and I am opposed to annexation.
Next speaker we have is Connie Coronado, followed by Sonia Lamas.
Good evening. I promise I'm not crying. My allergies decided to attack this evening, so if I rub my tears coming down my face. A couple weeks ago, I posted on social media a post, and I wanted to share it with you this evening because what I found after I posted it, it seemed to resonate with very many people. So I'm just going to share that with you. There is a misnomer out there that those of us who are opposed to being annexed do not want the best for the Hemet Valley as a whole or a community. This is simply a silly argument. We do want the best. We want a thriving community, a clean community, a safe community that we all call home. This is where we have chosen to live, whether we purchased or rent. This is where some of us are or have raised our families. This is where our children and grandchildren go to school. This is where we shop and dine. I don't like to go out of town. I do shop and dine here. When dining, many of us do have our favorite local eateries, owned and ran by our neighbors in our community. I bet some of those just popped in your head. We want the best for them and our businesses too, as well as their businesses. The issue, unfortunately, is that those at the helm, whether previously or now, have and are making decisions that sometimes are not the best for the community as a whole, and we are asking for better. Doing it with integrity, with ethics, and transparency. Doing it with fiscal responsibility, and doing it for the community as a whole. I posted that personally, and I posted that within one of the biggest groups in the Valley, and hundreds of people that resonated with. They are against something that doesn't mean they're against the community or against those who are vying for this annexation to happen. We can say no without being enemies. We can say no without being scolded or said we're bitter or that we despise our community. That's just simply not true. Or else we would be out of here already. Some of us, like myself, have raised my children here. They're born at Hemet Hospital. My kids don't like telling people that. I was born at Hemet Hospital. Dr. Tate delivered me. Dr. Hunter was there for my delivery, and guess who delivered my children? Dr. Hunter. So we do love this community. We have great ties to it. Many of us have known each other for years, and we love it. We just feel that things need to go uphill for the city limits before you take on more. And I believe that there have been many things that have been said about those of us who oppose it, and it really bothered me. Because if you really get to know those of us who oppose it, we are very loving, and we do support you and the city of Hemet. We can say no, though.
Thank you, Mrs. Coronado.
Thank you.
Sonia Yamas, followed by Jenny Hess.
Good evening, councils, Madam Mayor, Mr. City Manager, and our public. We went from COVID to emergency housing ordinances to celebrating the 4th annual of the Dia de los Muertos. So I'm here today to formally invite all of you to come out this year on a Sunday because of its tradition, culture, religion, all of the above, right, on a Sunday. But in the past, we have celebrated on a Wednesday. So with that being said, I just wanted to come a little bit early and, personally invite everybody. But most importantly, I think that hearing everybody here and just kind of reflecting on, everything our city's been through here in the last 5 years and bringing it forward, I'm just really proud of the council because I think that this council sitting before us today has demonstrated a different type of leadership. I'm not saying that we haven't had leaders in the past, but I think that it's a little bit more inclusive. I think in the last year and a half, I think it's gotten even more inclusive. Bringing Ben onto the team has made a serious impact in our backyard. I think that Hemet is moving forward in the right direction, and for that I'm proud. And thank you for allowing us to continue to celebrate the Dia de los Muertos. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Jenny Hess.
Good evening, council and mayor. I wasn't going to speak, but here I am. I don't have any notes tonight because I wanted to kind of speak from my heart. So not that my heart doesn't go into my notes, but I'm nicer this way. I went to the Hemet Theater for the first time to see a show this past Saturday. And I also came to the special session a couple weeks ago where a 1,000-seat theater was pitched. And so I went to the theater, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I love small towns. That's where I spend my vacation. So I go to small theaters and old places on purpose. All the residents were singing. They were up there dancing, and it was such a special energy that I am perplexed as to why you would even entertain the thought of taking down that theater and putting 1,000 seats in for the benefit of bringing outsiders in. Your insiders were having a really good time. It actually made me feel sad when I left the theater thinking about what I saw at the special session a couple weeks ago. 35-room boutique hotel for strangers. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. So I just wanted to share that experience with you, that there's renovation and rebuilding and remodeling and refurbishing, and there's a lot of R's there where you lose the historical integrity and choose to wipe it away so that other people want to come into town. I just wanted to convey that I think you should worry about what your current town wants, and I don't think it's downtown Los Angeles. I mean, I've told you before, I live there. I don't want it. That's why I'm here. So if they want to go to the El Rey or El Capitan or any of those other theaters, they can go there or San Diego, but you have something special, and it would be a real shame. Also, I was thinking, then it gets shut down for years. That's not going to be less than 3 years. It's $2 to $5 million on the small side of a big production, and that averages at $85 a ticket for a 6-week run. So I think it was nonsense. I don't agree with it. And I think you are going to make decisions that affect the history of this town. Certainly I love it, but I have learned that there are generations of people here that go way far back, way farther than my 2.5 years. So I just wanted to share it was a magical, incredible experience, maybe from an outsider's vision, appreciating the small town I moved to on purpose. And I think it would be devastating to the town if you took that away. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, that concludes our public comments.
I just want to say, those that receive proclamations tonight, feel free to leave if you'd like. You don't have to stay for the whole meeting, so you're welcome to stay, but you may leave at any time, so feel free. Okay. Stay as long as you'd like. We'd love to have you. So, we will now move to public hearings. The City Council's procedures for public hearing will be as follows. Staff will provide a report and clarification of items presented. The public hearing will be open for comments for those in favor of or in opposition to the item, followed by rebuttal to any comments made. The public hearing will be closed, and the city manager may respond to any questions raised by the public. The public will not have an opportunity to respond. Discussion will be brought back to the City Council for direction or action. Can we get a report from staff on 15A?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Jolene Ferris, Deputy Public Works Director. This is for an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, amending Chapter 70, subdivisions, Article 16, merger of contiguous parcels of land for the Hemet Municipal Code. The Subdivision Map Act gives local jurisdiction due authority to regulate and control the development and subdivision of parcels of land, which includes specific procedures that allow the merger of contiguous parcels. The city's existing process is missing critical definitions, limits the number of does not limit the number of parcels that can be merged, and other pertinent information about existing conditions and zoning. The biggest change would be limiting to less than 5 parcels in the parcel merger, and any more than 5 or 5 and more would need to do a parcel map. There's other requirements that are expanded upon to identify which parcels are eligible. It also adds clarification and defining the city-initiated merger process by which the city must adhere to when initiating a merger. It identifies details on the process for property owner-initiated mergers, and specifies all the required documents that are required to be submitted with the parcel merger application. So it really just provides clarification, limits the number of parcels, and that kind of stuff. So staff recommends that the City Council open a public hearing and take testimony, if any, waive full reading by title only, and introduce an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, making revisions to Chapter 70, Article 16 to the Hemet Municipal Code, and direct staff to file a notice of determination with the county clerk and state clearinghouse.
Thank you for your presentation. I will now open the public hearing. City Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
Mayor, there are no registered speakers.
I will now close the public hearing. I will now bring the discussion back for City Council deliberations. Council, do you have any comments or questions?
I do not.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I see this as being a problem, to be honest with you, with 10 parcels. This is what, 7.5 acres or 7.25 acres? And to have 10 separate owners on this parcel, doesn't it make it hard, or isn't that?
That's not this one.
Oh.
Wrong one.
That's on 15, another item.
15C.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I got the wrong one. My error.
Never mind.
Okay.
It's okay.
How did I get to that one?
'Cause
Okay.
you're efficient.
I have nothing to say.
No worries.
So this is just a clarification, cleaning up the terminology.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
just
that's what I thought it
expanding,
was.
adding definitions, you know, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Right. I'm good.
Yeah. That's why I don't have a printout on it, because I was good with it, so I don't know where my mind
It's
went.
all good. I understand.
Okay. Just a couple questions. What brought this up, and how many properties do we think this is going to affect in the city limits?
So what kind of initiated this is there is a project that's currently merging 8 to 9 parcels. And so if a property owner comes in and merges multiple parcels without a project with it, they just want to merge them, it can kind of bypass the ability for us to do like a subdivision improvement agreement with a parcel map or improvements that we need, because currently a parcel merger is just an administrative review and approval. It doesn't come to the body. So technically someone could come in here and merge 100 lots and you guys would never know about it, you know, so, or not never know about it, but it wouldn't be presented to you or to a body for approval.
So by making this change in the ordinance, does this make the process less expensive and less burdensome for the property owners?
The price doesn't change unless it's over 5 parcels or more, and then they have to do a parcel map, which then has to go to Planning Commission and approval by the council. So that would increase the cost for that, but it doesn't change the fees overall for either a parcel merger or a parcel map.
So it's just, I mean, it makes it more convenient and less bureaucratic to get something done?
It definitely gives a lot more criteria and exactly what needs to be submitted with the application, and adds clarification on definitions and stuff like that, so.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Any more comments, questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Can I have a motion to approve the item?
I propose a motion to approve this item.
And a second?
I second.
City Clerk, may we have a roll call?
I have a motion by Councilmember Lodge, second by Councilmember Clark. We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Mails.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0. And I do need to read the in the title only for the record, Mayor. So it's introduce an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, California, making revisions to Chapter 70 subdivisions, Article 16, merger of the contiguous parcels of land to the Hemet Municipal Code. Moving on to 15B, Mayor.
Thank you. We will now proceed to our next public hearing, item 15B. Could we have a presentation from staff on this item?
Hello again, Jolene Ferris. All right, this is for an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, making minor revisions to Chapter 66, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 1, Section 2, for dedication and improvement of public right-of-way on application for building permit to the City of Hemet, or to Hemet Municipal Code. So currently, as it's currently written, any applicant for a building permit that falls into specific categories are subject to Section 66-2 of the Hemet Municipal Code, and variances to this section are currently allowable only by petition to the City Council when the application of this code creates an undue hardship due to special circumstances. So the city recommends revising, or staff recommends revising this section such that thresholds are set for the city engineer that can grant variances to the requirements, which would streamline the permitting process. Currently, applicants will have to wait a minimum of 15 and 30 days to obtain a decision regarding their petition for a variance. And this would allow the city engineer to waive those requirements when defined thresholds are exceeded and would prevent any unnecessary delays in obtaining permits. Additional provisions have been added, which adds definitions for significant redevelopment projects and language that excludes projects that have adequate existing improvements. And authority is given to the city engineer to determine if the existing improvements are adequate. And then additional exemptions are given for specific, like infill, single-family lots and non-habitable structures. So staff recommends that City Council open a public hearing and take testimony, if any, and waive full reading by read by title only and introduce an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, California, making minor revisions to Chapter 66, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 1 in general, Section 2, dedication and improvement of public right-of-way on application for building permit to the Hemet Municipal Code.
Thank you for your presentation. I will now open the public hearing. City Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
Mayor, there are no registered speakers.
I will now close the public hearing. I will now bring the discussion back for City Council deliberations. Council, do you have any comments or questions? Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes. So this is also eliminating some bureaucracy and streamlining processes, which, thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that very much. And I was going to object to parts of this until I reread it the second time and saw that the applicant would have the final authority to appeal a decision to City Council.
Yeah.
So, good work, appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks for cleaning up stuff.
Yeah. And this
Working
will
on.
also include the permitting process?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
None.
Can I have a motion to approve this item?
I will make a motion to waive further reading, read by title only, introduce this, and direct staff to file notice of determination with the county clerk and the state clearinghouse.
And a second?
I second that.
City Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Krupa, a second by Councilmember Lodge. We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Mails.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0, and if I may, I'm going to read into the record, introduce an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Hemet, California, making minor revisions to Chapter 66, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 1, in general, Section 2, dedication and improvement of public right-of-way on application for building permit to the Hemet Municipal Code. Moving on to 15C.
Thank you. We will now proceed to our next public hearing, item 15C. We have a presentation from staff on this item.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council, and the community. I'm Monique Galanese-Slater, Community Development Director. This evening is a public hearing for the appeal of tentative track map 38430, map 23002. The appellant is also the applicant, Hillwig Goodrow, on behalf of Ramona Plaza 2022 LLC. The Planning Commission is the regulatory body that makes recommendations, as well as also the decision maker for tentative track maps, tentative parcel maps in accordance with the Subdivision Map Act and Chapter 70 of the Hemet Municipal Code. On August 19th, 2025, the Planning Commission approved a tentative parcel map application for a property located at the northeast corner of San Jacinto Street and Florida Avenue for the subdivision of 3 parcels into 10 parcels on approximately 7.25 acres within the Ramona Plaza Shopping Center, subject to conditions of approval and recordation of the final map within 24 months of approval. Just a little background on the property. Property is located in the C2 commercial zone and also has a general plan land use designation of community commercial. So the property is existing, was constructed in the 70s and has been existing for quite some time now. It has inline shopping within there, and as part of the proposed subdivision was to subdivide the parcel into various parcels to accommodate multi-ownership within the commercial center. The appellant, who's also the applicant, who brought forth the appeal this evening, is appealing the condition number 22 for undergrounding of the utilities, undergrounding of the overhead utilities. They're alleging that the project does not propose any change in the physical condition of the property or increase physical impacts or utility demands. And they have also expressed their belief that Condition 22 violates the United States California Constitution, which requires that any condition of approval imposed on a development project must contain a reasonable nexus between the impact of the subdivision development and the proposed development condition. So in response to the appeal, before I go into that, I just wanted to provide a little bit of detail on where the existing overhead utility lines are on the property. Here you can see that there are the boundaries of the property, and then the area highlighted in red, those are where the existing overhead utility lines are located on the property. Also want to mention that as part of the analysis when the subdivision came forward to the Planning Commission, the applicant did conduct an analysis of existing dry and wet utilities on the property, and that there would be no change to that. These are the existing utility lines showing on the east side of the property and north side of the property. In accordance with Hemet Municipal Code, Section 82-172, all subdivisions shall be required to be placed underground. All existing overhead utility lines serving the building, including but not limited to the electrical distribution lines, telephone, street light service lines, cable television, and similar service wires or cables. This includes existing utility lines that are located within the boundaries of the subdivision. Going the wrong way. Okay, we'll just keep going. So with that provision, if the developer believes that the undergrounding of the utilities to be a financial hardship, there is a provision in section 82-172D of the Hemet Municipal Code that allows for the impayment of an in lieu fee in certain circumstances. On September 12th, 2017, the City Council established by resolution 4770 fees that may be paid in lieu of undergrounding existing utility lines, which includes undergrounding of in lieu fee at $280 per linear foot of electrical lines, $35 per linear foot of each additional utility cable telephone co-located within the electrical lines, and $65 for non-electrical utility not located within the electrical lines. In this case, based on early communications with the representative from Hillwig Goodrow, Inc., and the Public Works Engineering Department, it was determined that the cost to underground would likely exceed 10% of the improvements associated with this parcel map, and that the in lieu fee would be considered in accordance with Chapter 82-172, which would not necessarily change the condition of approval, but rather allow the applicant to work with the Public Works Engineering Department to establish and verify that the in lieu fee could be determined and paid. And also it requires a cost analysis that has to be fleshed out through that department. So the appellant is here this evening. It is my understanding that they did a preliminary cost estimate. It was provided, but there were some irregularities related to the cost estimate that were still in question by Public Works Engineering Department that needed follow-up. And since then, staff hasn't received correspondence from the applicant on the verification of the cost estimates. Since then, we haven't heard from them and subsequently received the appeal. This concludes my presentation. I believe the appellant is here this evening to answer additional questions.
Thank you for your presentation. I will now open the public hearing. City Clerk, are there any registered speakers?
Yes, Mayor, there's actually a couple e-comments that we received, but we do have the appellant here who would like to speak. Would you like me to proceed with the reading into the record of the e-comments?
Yes.
So we did receive two comments, one by Alan Hillwig, who objected to the item, objection condition number 22 specifically, of the conditions of approval for the parcel map. And then I have a second to read into the record by Gregory N. Wheeler. They objected also to the proposed condition of 22 on the map. And so those are the two items into the record, Mayor.
Thank you. And we have a speaker in person.
Mayor Peterson, honorable council members, I'm Greg Weiler, and it's my letter, and our the applicant Hillwood has also submitted a letter just for the findings to support our position. We were here for a limited purpose. We really appreciate the staff's work on this subdivision. We only have one item of contention, which I'm confident we can resolve to the city's satisfaction. Again, all the other conditions have been worked out with the staff, and they've been very professional. We really appreciate it. The condition we're talking about now is the undergrounding of the utilities. I don't know the amount. It's somewhere between, I tried to get my client to specify exactly. We've got bids. Let's say it's between $1 and $3 million to underground those utilities. But we respect the city's policy about trying to get all these utilities undergrounded. The issue is on this subdivision, there's no physical change in the existing improvements. There's no intensification of use. There's no increase in utility use. So legally, you can't impose a condition. even though we do have a policy and we agree with the city's policy. My solution would be, first, request that condition 22 be eliminated because I don't think it can be lawfully imposed. We can beef about that. We don't want to because we like to be friends with you and we appreciate the staff's cooperation. I think the solution would be that the condition be modified to provide if there's any subsequent discretionary approval requested by any of those property owners that physically changes the property and materially increases the utility usage, that city policy would be imposed and they would be undergrounded. So I think you can get your policy adopted without violating the Constitution and the Fee Mitigation Act in California. So that would be my suggestion. I discussed some language with the city attorney, and she properly deferred it to the council. But that would be my suggestion. We can work out the specific language either tonight or maybe defer this and work it out. But if the council disposed to modify that condition, we would welcome it for future action to the extent that one of these property owners in the future want to do something that they could lawfully impose at that point, because there would be the necessary legal nexus at that point to support any kind of exaction, whether it's an in lieu fee or the actual undergrounding itself. At that point, there would be the legal connection, which we think is lawfully required. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we appreciate the city's work on this subdivision.
I will now close the public hearing. City Council, do you have any comments or questions?
Mayor, I do. I'll start. I have a lot of problems with a lot of these conditions. First of all, I do not feel that it's to the city's best interest to cut up a prime lot in the middle of the city of Hemet into 7 different parcels. I sat in a meeting with ICSC in Las Vegas. The owner, the LLC owner of the Target Shopping Center, wants to make their shopping center better because Stierenstein, A1 owner, increased their beauty. We have plenty of shopping centers around here that have multiple owners, and there is no incentive for them to work together. Why should we, the city of Hemet, be placed in a position with 7 different owners, several CR&Rs, and a management company? Going to the management company is not binding, and sometimes they have to go directly to the private owners. 3 owners don't get along. Parking spaces don't meet their requirements, or someone's parking in it. We would have 7 different new places that code enforcement would have to go to rectify a potential situation. Now you look at In-N-Out Burger, you look at Popeyes, and you look at Vallarta. Has that been resolved with those 3 owners? The parking or the traffic problem? No. And we're still working with 3 people, 3 entities. So while the Planning Commission thought that was a good idea, I can see that. But from this position sitting here and the complaints that I receive from my constituents, they don't want any more slummy shopping centers where the owners do not work together, and no CR&R is going to guarantee that, period. It's human nature. I don't want it. I know that was there actually in the 60s, and it looks the same as it does now. In 2022, when that man purchased, or that entity purchased, He could have started some improvements. There have been no improvements made other than the necessary things there at the canned food because it was dry rot and falling down. Why not do all these things now? It might be a better purchase price for somebody if it's been upgraded. But 7 parcels is not going to upgrade it. What if one puts a business in there that we don't really even want? So I don't support this one bit. Thank you.
And I agree with our council member here, because we had a business walk in another area that had multiple owners, and we tried to get them to fix their property, and it was a problem. And having to call multiple people to fix, you know, a business site, it's hard for our city. It's hard for the employees. So I agree with our council member. So thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Crew?
Thank you. I'd just like to clarify that while this appeal is on condition item number 22, this appeal actually opens up the entire application. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is it possible to, well, I have questions for staff, and then I have questions for the applicant, if that's possible?
Yes.
Thank you. So in just what's presented for us tonight, there are questions on the landscaping off-site and on-site. I noticed that we do not have a reference for the on-site or the off-site as to using the city's approved list of trees, and if that could be added. Also, and I guess this is for Noah. Is Noah here? Noah is here. There's reference in here for a safeguard would be either to join an existing, create an LLMD or join the city-wide. What is the difference in that, and how would that be done? How would that be enforced?
So we've kind of converted from forming individual LLMDs and we've created one citywide public facilities CFD that can be easily annexed into individually throughout the city. And so it's much more cost effective and much more versatile than all those separate LLMDs. So that's what we would recommend that we always use in the future for any commercial project such as this.
So does the applicant have the option of
No, it would
opting
only
in?
the only option would really be the citywide public facility CFD.
And would that be active or the default? I mean,
That is the default.
that
now.
is the default.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know on that. And then I guess this goes back to Monique, and then I have a question for the applicant. The staff report refers to this all being done with CCNRs, but a 2-year waiting limit that before recordation of the plot or the lot split. It's going to take 2 years to get all of this done?
That's the expiration of the entitlement. The condition of approval is that they obtain a final map within 24 months of the approval.
Okay, then I guess my next questions are for the applicant. So my first question is, what is the benefit to the city with multiple owners of this shopping center?
It's a great question. I wanted to address that to Councilwoman Clark's concern and also Council Member, how do you spell your pronounce it?
Just like it's spelled, males.
The reason for this proposed subdivision, it's nothing sinister, is that there's sort of pride in ownership, and we've had existing tenants that want to own. They want to own their own place, and we want to facilitate that, and also separate financing to the extent that they want to do that. I think the applicant would respectfully submit that this is going to be an enhancement. But I appreciate the enforcement issue. we're happy to address that issue, whether it's one owner or 7 owners. It's pretty common to facilitate enforcement. And if there's been problems in the past, I think it can be addressed, but I think you're gonna have a better property if you do separate it. If we had seven different owner investors, local people that would be invested in the property, than having one person. Our clients, I guess, absentee now, Ramona Plaza LLC, but it's to facilitate that, sort of the American way. You have your own business, everybody wants to own their own real estate. So that's the reason for it, nothing sinister. And any reasonable condition to this that facilitates the city's enforcement would be welcomed. Any condition as far as upgrading consistent with city policies, we're more than amenable to that.
Then are any of the current tenants the possible owners of the property, or will you look for them off-site?
I don't know specifically for all, but yes, that's where the interest originally arose in the subdivision. And maybe even Monique might even know, but she's worked closely with the applicant team in that regard. But I've been told, this is in general conversations, that's where the application derived from. So it would allow flexibility as far as dealing with those people in the future. With respect to the 2 years, the map's going to go away. They either have to satisfy all these conditions or the map goes away. We could probably get it done a lot faster. I don't know when Ramona Plaza wants to final this map or not, but it's got the 2-year limit with a 1-year, Monique, 1-year request for an extension if necessary. But that's the only reason the 2 years is in there. Happy to answer any other questions.
Oh, I've got more. So in this subdivision, when is the landscaping and when is the parking lot going to get done?
It's my understanding that it has to be done and secured before you approve a final map within 2 years.
So it's going to take 2 more years of looking at that
No,
ugly
they could do
thing
it- they could do
before
it
anything
for-
gets done?
They could do it in 3 months, 6 months. It's just, if they wanted to get this map done and convey 5 different parcels to different tenants, they could hurry it up. It's just the term of the map. I don't know how fast they want to get it done. Monique, I'm not sure if you talked to our team or not, but.
In the conditions of approval, we are asking, or it has been, the conditions of approval are prior to final map approval.
And
That those
that's-
improvements be upgraded before the final map is approved by council.
But that's any time between now and 2 years. We want it done within 6 months. I want it done within 3 months. I mean, I want it done. It's an eyesore. It is ugly. So how do we move this along? How do we put it in writing that if you want this done with 7 additional owners, that the city really gets some benefit from it in the short term as far as, and in the long term?
We would be amenable to, the problem is coming up with specific language, not knowing. As soon as practicable would be great, but that's not giving you a lot of assurance. But again, it's the 2 years or the map goes away and there's no change. But the applicant is motivated, and I think under the MAP Act you can't do it any shorter. But we're happy with to add some language that might address it. Honestly, I don't think as soon as practicable is going to give you any serious.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for me at all. That's
But,
no assurance. So what are our legal options here? Can we continue this until some language can be written into the conditions that actually
Absolutely.
guarantees some benefit to the city in the short term and the long term?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. We can continue the item so we can play around with the language that is amenable to both the applicant and for the city. I would also like to note that there is a typo to the conditions of approval on page 33, condition 41, line 2. The word may after CC and Rs needs to be replaced with the word shall for consistency purposes.
Yes, that was one of my corrections
Yes.
too.
That's acceptable. I would like some clarification if we can reach some consensus on that, on the $3 million issue, to defer that until there's some physical change. That would help the city attorney and I come up with the language.
I have one question too.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Mayor.
So you want to do 10 parcels. Of that, how many are committed to going into those stores, those parcels now? Do you know?
Are committed to doing what, Mayor?
To go into those, to have a business. So,
Oh, I don't know how many users or how many, my client, Ramona Plaza is really one guy. How many he's gonna keep, I don't know that.
The owner.
But I'm happy to get back to staff
Yeah,
immediately.
Just clarification on that. The tenants' spaces that are there are not necessarily going to be the owners of those spaces.
No, it's not necessarily, but that's where the motivation came in for you know, business ownership of these various lots. And I'm not sure if it's 2 right now or all, but I do know from the meetings that it's business owners want to own their own land and not be tenants, which is natural. I think we all feel the same way. But that's the motivation behind the subdivision.
yeah, because we have so many properties in town that are owned by people out of town.
The good
You know,
thing is,
and-
I might know for the record that it's gonna help the city to the extent there's a change in ownership, you're gonna have an increase in your property taxes. So that's always a side benefit, and it's a burden for the property owners, but if that, I'm not sure what the basis in this property is, I'm sure the staff could tell you, but if there is a conveyance to any of these, it's gonna go right to fair market value, which will increase your tax revenue.
Are these businesses able to afford that?
I'm sorry, I'm kind of hard of hearing.
Are these businesses, do you have a lot of businesses wanting to buy their own building, or is there one? And how much are these gonna go for? Because I don't see in today with interest rates and such, that even we want the American dream, who is able to afford it is not necessarily somebody who lives here in Hemet and has a vested interest in the city. That's my problem. Code enforcement's gonna have 7 different people to have to deal with.
Well, 2 things. One, an individual business, you can red tag them and the property management company, so actually you may even have more rights, but I understand the practical issue of getting somebody to do something here. I can't answer your question if it's 2 or 10, but in this kind of, typically what would happen is, you know, In-N-Out Burger would, they're not a good, let's say a local businessman would come to Ramona Plaza, we want to buy, Ramona Plaza says yes, and they would carry back some paper at a reasonable interest rate. Hopefully interest rates are going to come down, but I read the papers and I don't know what's going to happen, but it would typically be a situation where the applicant would carry back that paper.
Well, we are trying to uplift the city.
Yes, I understand. And I fully appreciate the city's policy. Same as we appreciate the city's policy on the utilities. Once they do something to intensify or increase that utility usage, then let's get these things undergrounded.
So I got a question.
Oh, sorry.
Theoretically, I'm on.
Yep, you're on.
Theoretically. Well, it's broken.
I'll try not to. So theoretically, we could possibly have 10 different owners and 10 different property management companies?
No, I think the CCNRs will provide for the common management.
Okay.
I haven't seen, of course, I haven't been drafted, but I draft these things. They would be obligated to be managed by one entity. Sometimes it's just one property owner is designated as a manager to
Right.
centralize that because you only want to hire one person, pay one management fee and all that.
And so we don't know how many of these 10 would be local residents to begin with.
No, but what I've heard expressed is the existing owners, I can't even tell you what the owners are since I'm an out-of-towner, but there is interest by existing tenants, and I can get that question answered for you.
Would you please, send that over to staff and,
Okay, I have another
Go ahead.
question. With, you brought up the CCNRs, and you said they're not written as yet. Are you willing to have the safeguard in there that really literally protects the city in that when improvements need to be made as to landscaping or storefronts or the parking lot, that you will, the new owners will do it, and if they don't, the city can do it and bill you?
the city attorney is gonna make sure that those CCNRs have, the city as an express third-party beneficiary legal language, but you'll be, not only the owners can enforce it, but the city can enforce those CCNRs also.
Yeah, because we, as we have all said, we have a couple areas in town that with multiple owners, and they are the worst looking shopping centers in town.
This proposal will increase the city's control over this property to ensure that that's done, because there's an attorney's fee provision in the CCNRs, and if the city attorney takes these guys to task, she can not only enforce it, but get the attorney's fees to do it.
Okay. We can get that language drafted for the next meeting.
Next one.
So we should bring this back after the assurances are into the conditions, or how do we do that?
We can continue this so that it allows us time to make the necessary revisions so that the city's happy and comfortable with it, and then move forward to the next meeting so we can review the conditions.
Are you all okay with that?
If we might, since the public hearing's been closed, bring it back to a date certain so we don't have to renotice, subject to the city-approved language for the condition, not only condition 22, but the corrections and any other language you want.
We could definitely do that if the council is comfortable with that.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
City Manager Monique, how much time do you think you guys are going to need?
I would recommend bringing it back to the either the next city council meeting.
Is that enough time for you?
You can get this done in 2
get this
weeks?
all done?
Unless the city attorney needs additional time.
That should be fine, yeah.
Okay, then I will make a motion to continue this item with public comment or public hearing opened to the next city council meeting, date certain of
October 14th.
October 14th.
October 14th.
Mayor?
I second that motion.
I'm going to be traveling during that period of time, but we'll communicate, and so I may not be here. Any questions you have?
You can Zoom in.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to be in Montana fooling around.
Bless your heart.
Okay, we have a second?
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah, have a roll call?
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Krupa, second by Councilmember Lodge. We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Males.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes,
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
thank you.
Okay, we're going to backtrack here a little bit. Our recipient of the Suicide Prevention Month is now in our presence, and I would love for Councilmember Clark to present the proclamation to Michael Bailey of Riverside County Veterans Services.
I didn't even see him.
You guys put your glasses on so you can see. Better late than never.
It was dark over there, so you blended in.
Hiding in the corner.
That's dangerous. We should fix that.
We should. Okay, so this is Suicide Prevention Month. Whereas September is recognized nationally as Suicide Prevention Month, a time in which mental health advocates, individuals, prevention organizations, survivors, allies, and communities across the country unite to promote suicide prevention awareness. And whereas, according to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the United States and the second leading cause of death among individuals ages 10 to 24. And whereas in 2023, 49,316 Americans died by suicide, an average of about 135 suicides per day. Each suicide deeply affects family, friends, coworkers, and neighbors, and community members. Whereas the stigma associated with mental illness and suicidal undermines prevention efforts by discouraging individuals at risk from seeking life-saving help and further traumatizing survivors of suicide loss. And whereas suicide is preventable and it is appropriate to set aside time each year to focus on improving the mental health of all City of Hemet residents, raising awareness about suicide, and promoting the use of essential resources such as the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, reachable by calling or texting 988. Jackie Peterson, the mayor of City Hemet, along with the Hemet City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 as Suicide Prevention Month, and encourage all residents to take time to check in on the well-being of their family, friends, and neighbors, and to genuinely express their appreciation for their existence by any gesture they deem appropriate, which can help suicide. Would you like to say something?
Let's do the. Thank you very much, Councilwoman. Mayor Peterson said I could use the microphone for a second, and those of you who know me, that's not the best idea to do. My name is Michael Bailey. I'm of Riverside County Veteran Services. I'm a VSR, and I currently work with veterans. While this is Suicide Month for everybody, my focus is going to be on veterans. The number right now is 22 a day, which is not really correct because we do not follow all veterans. It's more like 23 and 25. That is the true number. Currently in Riverside, there's 115,000 veterans. In District 5, which is Hemet, San Jacinto, Beaumont, and Banning, there's 24,000 veterans. All these veterans have some kind of suffering. There's mental health issues. Making sure you're reaching out to one another, making sure you know the number. For veterans specifically, it's 988, and you press 1. They can text 838-255, or they can get online at veteransincrisis.net. Please, if you know somebody that's in need, let me rephrase that. Nobody needs to be a professional in order to help somebody who is currently in crisis. That's the biggest takeaway from this month. Everybody can help out as long as you guys know the numbers to call: 988, press 1, 838-255. I appreciate it. Thank you very much to the City Council, and thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you.
Hey.
Oh, thank you.
111 years old, right?
We will now move to receive and file. Are there any questions or comments from the council on the investment reports, warrant registers, and periodic payroll payments?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, we will receive and file the reports. We will now move to the consent calendar. All consent calendar items will be acted upon simultaneously unless requested by an individual council member for separate consideration. Are there any members of the council who would like to pull any other consent items for separate consideration? I will remove item 17F for separate consideration and comment.
I don't have any.
Yeah. 17F is where I was going, so.
Okay, there being no other ones, can I have a motion to approve the remaining items?
I put forth forth a motion to approve all items except for 17F to be pulled separately.
And a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Lodge, second by Councilmember Mills to approve the consent calendar with the removal of item 17F for separate consideration. Do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Mills.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0. Moving on to 17F.
Okay, for 17F, we're going to do something just a little bit different again. It seems like I keep saying that. We're going to do something just a little different. But I just want to say that the Hemet Firefighters Association, it represented all positions in the fire department except the 3rd Battalion chiefs. And they were the only ones that were left out. So it is only right that they get the fair representation as the rest of the fire department. And I want to say that they're true leaders. They stand above, they have a great responsibility, and they do a great job out there for us. And they will be known as Fire Management Unit. So with that, I would like to make a motion to approve this item, and then I'm going to have a comment afterwards, after the vote. So I will make a motion to approve 17F.
And I'll second that.
May we have a roll call?
I have a motion by Mayor Peterson, second by Mayor Pro Tem Krupa. We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Mills.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
And at the, yes. At the request of the Hemet Firefighter Association President, Dave Prieto, he would like a picture with the city manager and the mayor to commemorate this milestone. So we will now have a photo op. Yay. Yes, they're coming up.
There's not a.
Well, you all had to vote yes.
Well. But we're not important enough to.
Can we just kind of stand back here? We would like you to say a few words if you'd like.
Okay. Oh, boy. I'm Dave Prieto, President of the Hemet Firefighters Association, and I just wanted to really offer my thanks and appreciation to the City Council, Mayor Peterson, and our city manager. There's been a wonderful change in the city for a number of years now, and the city's become very employee-centric, really focusing on us as people and making us, happy and wanting to come to work and produce a good product. And this is just another fine example of that leadership that Mark and I have been, discussing and working on together for years, and that the council is exemplifying every day. So just want to say thank you and welcome Efren Vargas and Kevin Kuhlman to the Hemet Firefighters Association. We're so happy to have you guys.
Yes.
Lean forward and smile.
Okay.
Thank you very much. That's what I'll do.
Don't go yet.
Do another one here. Yep. Out of the way, Jackie.
Oh, Ben, wait, photobomb.
There's one battalion chief that's not here right now. It's a battalion chief on October something. 13th, it'll be Captain Ireland promoting to battalion chief, but he's up on a fire assignment right now and couldn't be here. So just want to make sure we represented Skip. That was all.
Great. Get my glasses on again. We will now move to to the discussion action items. Can we have a report from staff on the discussion item 18A?
Yes, good evening, council members. Want to pause for just a moment while we bring up an image. Okay. This may be a little hard to look at and understand, but this is the Hemet Stock Farm property as conceptualized by a new developer. And what we see, just to orient you, is we have State Street on the right. We have Devonshire on the south, or on the bottom. We have Oakland on the north. And I can't read the street on the left. What is that? But what we have here are historic assets in the upper right corner that are depicted in sort of a beige color. And what you see is a conceptual layout of properties that would be single-family homes in the configurations on the left as well as the bottom right. To the very far right, on the edge of State Street in the dark brown, that is a mixed-use proposal where there would be housing upstairs and retail downstairs. And on the top right, to the northeast, is a conceptual hotel. And so the developer is considering providing the historic assets, including the corridor down the middle from the north to the south, to the city as part of a development proposal. The total units are approximately just over 400. There are a number of terms that the developer has proposed and suggested for this development, and given the complexity of those and given the historic importance of this property, it's my recommendation that we form a council ad hoc to assist the city attorney, the city manager, and city staff with future negotiations. We're at a point where we can begin those negotiations now. We received a tentative term sheet from the developer and need to have an internal conversation first before we proceed to those negotiations. We've had an opportunity to tour the property with city staff, and it's resulted in, I think, essentially some changes to the initial layout that was conceptualized by the developer. I think that the resulting plan is an improvement over the prior version. But this is a very important development project for the city. This has the potential to really positively impact the downtown and the vibrancy of the downtown, given the proximity, which is truly walking distance. We're literally less than a quarter mile away from the railroad corridor, which we know we have an approved grant that will fund a Class 1 bike trail and a lighted pedestrian path, a lit path that will be able to, that anyone in that area can access at either intersection on the east corner, eastern side of this property. So happy to answer any questions you have about the process. I can't promise you how many meetings this will take, but I can anticipate that this will be scores of hours and many meetings as we navigate this conversation over the coming months.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just would like to be on this ad hoc committee.
Okay.
Very much.
Mayor?
Yes.
I would like to be on it because it is in my district and it is part of a significant part of Hemet's history.
I would like to say something. We had put two council members in the last committee, which were Councilmember Krupa and Councilmember Clark. I'd like to see either Councilmember Lodge or yourself as mayor on this committee, just to spread it out. To make, I know it's your district, but if we do everything in your district and you.
Well, you are.
Huh?
Well, you are.
I just feel that we should spread the love a little. So.
Okay. Good point. Good point. Okay. Go ahead.
No, I think that's more than fair. As much as I'd love to be on this, I'm on enough. But I do want to make sure that the report that we did from historic preservationists several years ago is adhered to, and at least the 4 structures that were brought forward at that time for preservation are maintained. And that's the barn, the stables, the house, and the grandstand. And quite a few years ago, we had hired a firm from San Francisco to come down and do a historical preservation on really the entire stock farm. And those were the buildings that came out. And when they were all done evaluating everything, it was determined that this firm was actually the one that restored and preserved Mr. Whittier's house in San Francisco. So when that was done, they were very happy that we were going to be taking care of that property in the future. We know it's going to be developed, property owners, right? But preserving that and creating a heritage park is very, very important to this community. So thank you and good luck.
Yeah, thanks. So that past report you were speaking of, Linda?
Pardon?
That past report you were speaking of?
It should be on file in community development.
Okay, all right. That's all I needed to know.
And if not, I think I have a copy.
That's what I thought.
I'm not opposed to being on the committee, and I can see why Councilmember Clark would like to be on there too, so I will just leave it up to you, and somebody can make a motion.
Go ahead.
You make the
I'd like to make a motion to put the mayor, Mayor Peterson, and Councilmember, darn, I forgot your name.
Clark.
I was gonna say Clark, but I know it's not right. Lodge, Councilmember Lodge on the committee, on the ad hoc committee.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Councilmember Mayo, second by Mayor Pro Tem Krupa. We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Mails.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Can we have a report from staff for item 18B, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I figured a 5-person ad hoc was going to be a little difficult in the last item, but I know you were all very interested in this. This is going to be an exciting project. The final item tonight relates to the return of the alignment of the development review process. So as you recall, in the past year, we've commissioned a study of our development review process. A number of recommendations were provided to the city. The action before you tonight would essentially return us to a place a couple of years ago that preceded this realignment, in which the fire prevention staff would report to the fire chief, and the code and building officials would report to the community development director. The advantages to this are several. One obvious advantage is the interest in aligning the various development functions under a single department director that have been spread out among 2 different departments, and then physically moving the people associated with the development process back to City Hall. And so we have been working internally at developing a seating strategy within City Hall that's intended to enhance the city's customer service with respect to the development process. We know that we're also investing in technology that is intended to help the development review process. We've also received some recommendations for some additional positions that we can consider at mid-year and in next year's budget with budget permitting. But the recommendation here is consistent with the Citygate Associates report that would recommend the dissolution of the Hemet Fire and Life Safety Agency in the Department of Life Safety, and organize that into the Community Development Department and the Fire Department exclusively. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you for your report. Council, do you have any comments, questions?
I'm good.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Overdue. So I recommend that we pass this resolution on to dissolution of the Hemet Fire and Life Safety Agency and the organizational realignment of the fire prevention, building and safety, code enforcement, and economic development.
And a second?
I'll second.
May we have a roll call, please?
I have a motion by Councilmember Lodge, second by Councilmember Males. We'll do a roll call. Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Lodge.
Yes.
Councilmember Males.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
We will now move on to city council and staff reports. I will start at the end once again with Councilmember Clark.
9/16, the planning commission was canceled, so there was no meeting. I went to the State of the City Beaumont with Councilmember Lodge, Krupa, Males, and Peterson. That was fun, beautiful, and they sure have a lot going on. 9/17, I attended the cannabis public hearing. 9/18, I met with Casey Daly, the Director of Energy and Environmental Programs at WRCOG, WRCOG. Then right after, Mayor Peterson and myself met with Superintendent Barrett at Hemet Unified School District. And 9/11, I had every intention of going to the RCA just to see what it was about. And I was at the county building and gads, I was at the wrong spot. So I had retail therapy. And maybe next time I'll be able to go and just see what that's all about. Nothing more.
Well,
Councilmember Lodge.
besides being invited to a wonderful dinner up in Beaumont, there's been little to report as of late, except for we're all going to Long Beach and having a conference there coming up, and that's going to be hopefully more informative than the last one was, and that one was great. We learned a lot at that one. But, have a report to follow.
Thank you. Councilmember Males?
Just real brief, went to the State of the City in Beaumont. It was a great function. Beaumont's doing really great, especially on their road work out there. Went to the 9/11 Hemet High School football Patriot game when we had our concerts in the park on Thursday, but I was invited as a veteran, so it was a great game. Hemet won, and they hadn't played each other for the last 8 years because of some conflict that happened at their last game. So it was a pretty good game, had a lot of people out there, so that was great. Mayor Peterson and I are on the memorial committee, ad hoc committee, and we have one veteran that will be etched. His name will be etched on the memorial wall on Veterans Day, and pretty sure that Mayor Peterson has the name because I looked it up and couldn't find it. But that's all I have for me.
Mayor Pro Tem Krupa.
Okey doke. Not a whole lot. RTA is expanding their facilities, or I should say the parking lot at the Hemet facility out here, because they are going to be hiring more people and expanding their service center and traveler call program. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, the big news through RCTC is that the Department of Motor Vehicle in California, as of September 30th of 2025, clean air vehicles will no longer be able to use the carpool lanes as solo drivers, and they are not eligible for discounts on the express lanes, as all of the decals that have been issued are expiring on September 30th, and no more will be issued. So beginning October 1st, all clean air vehicles, decal holders must obey posted HOV signs and pay the required tolls. Also, at the MSRC meeting, which is the Mobile Source Air Pollution Reduction Review Committee. It's an arm of RCTC, but it's also a subcommittee of South Coast Air Quality District. At the last meeting, we voted to defund a $6 million project over in the LA area that was going to be used, $6 million for recharging stations for heavy-duty trucks. And this contract was with Penske. They have figured out that they can't move forward on it for many, many, many reasons. So there is going to be $6 million available, and I'm looking over here. We could probably do some research on that and see if we can come up with some money maybe for recharge stations here in the city. And also at the next meeting, we will be looking at possible defunding another $17 million along with that same project, which will make a whole bunch more money available for recharge stations and other clean air vehicles for cities and different agencies in Riverside County and South Coast. And other than that, just for your information, George, I was at that concert. You just didn't see me. I've been at all of them, and I will be there Thursday night, so I'll see you there.
Okay. Thank you.
I believe the veteran's name is Larry Rudnick. Good friend of mine.
Thank you. On 9/11, I also went to a morning school ceremony, and it was very, very well done, very nice. I went to West Valley High School, and we had several of our police officers who are veterans and non-veterans, I'm sure, that were over there, and just a really nice ceremony that the high school put on, and it was a nice morning. And then later that day, I went on a monthly business walk, and we took the plaza that's over by Sherwin-Williams, the one on near State and Stetson. And it's always so interesting to hear what these people have to say. And you know, they're so grateful that we're out there and we're concerned and we're actually connecting with them. So we look forward to these every month, and we do them in a different district, and I go on every month, and then whoever is in that district, they go with us. And we have like many staff members that go out, and we just tell them about different programs and, you know, opportunities to grow their business and such. And if they're having any problems, you know, we get feedback and we try to help them with that. And we have had some really good successes in the past couple years since we've been doing them, that we're helping them with some of their problems in their city. So, you know, it's very rewarding to go out there and meet the people and see the people that are actually, you know, we have so many mom and pop stores. 97% of our business is small business, and it's just a good thing that we do, and I enjoy it. So the Ramona Bowl, they have a few events coming up. Let me see here. On October 4th, they have yet another concert coming up, and it's a little different. It's Panic at the Disco, Lincoln Park, Lit, Jimmy Eat World, and more. So if you're into that type of music, come on out October 4th to Ramona Bowl. And they're continuing the Birtland Ranch Market. It's been really successful out there. People are having a good time out there. And the next one will be on September 13th. Let me see. Linda, do we have one in October?
Yeah, I think it's October 11th.
Okay, she thinks it's October 11th, so I don't see it on the website here now. So, and on a sadder note, I just want to tell you, we lost two great people that have been in the Ramona pageant for years. Ron Stowe passed away. He was a fourth-generation dancer that was out at the Ramona Bowl every year for the Ramona Play, the Ramona pageant. And a really sad note, Steve Alvarez, that had been battling cancer for so long, just passed this last week.
He was a red-tailed spirit dancer. That's what he was known for mostly. But he also played Alessandro, didn't he, Linda, at one time? No? He had different parts in the play, though, didn't he? Yeah. But he was mostly known for his dancing and his mentoring of others. So he will be sorely missed as well. So, but Ramona Bowl is coming back. They're doing things. Come on out and support them. So,
Mayor?
yes. Yes.
I also wanted to make mention that we had citizens from Mountain Shadow come to our meetings, the last 2 meetings we had, complaining about problems that they were having out there with people jumping the fence or coming in uninvited. And they invited the chief and our Aero team out, and I went out with them, and we had a meeting out there, and we were able to calm the community down, talk to them. The chief did a great job out there. The Aero team did a great job, and I want to thank you for that, Chief. Did a great job out there. Thank you.
Okay.
And based on that and the ordinance we passed, I have heard from numerous people who live out there that things are looking up. There's finally some teeth in things that can happen to the people that shouldn't be there. And thank you to Hemet PD for all the work you're doing.
Great. Thank you. City Manager, your turn.
Thank you, Mayor. A reminder that we're concluding our September concert series on Thursday night. That's going to be at Mary Henley Park. The band is Nitro Express. It's a country band. The music will begin at 6 p.m., but you can fuel up with coffee and food beginning at 5 p.m. And to learn more about these updates, you can visit hemetca.gov. There's a link for email notifications. And in our bi-monthly newsletter, we provide updates on a variety of city topics. One of the active projects is conceptualizing a Weston Park redesign. And so right now, there's a QR code, and this is available in English or Spanish. There are a variety of events where you can either take the survey online or visit a booth at an upcoming event. So one of the upcoming events is October 18th, our Chalktober event. So this is a chalk art festival that will be at the library. That's the next in-person opportunity. They will also be at the Hemet Christmas Parade, which is December 6th. I believe the theme this year is the great outdoors. So look for more information on the parade soon. Also want to mention that the fire department is having an open house. This is an annual event, and this will be held on Saturday, October 11th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that's at 220 North Juanita Street downtown. And finally, at that Chalktoberfest, there's also going to be an accompanying candy event following with the police department. So look for information on that as well. That's going to be soon, and the department's actually looking for candy donations. I think we always sell out each year. And finally, I think we have one more. Boo at the Bowl. I don't think that was mentioned, but this is going to be October 24th, 25th, and 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. each evening. People can learn more at ramonabowl.com or by calling 951-658-3111. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager.
And I'd like to report out that the State of the City is going to be November 6th, right?
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
VIP, I think, starts at 4 o'clock, and then doors open at 5 o'clock. It is going to be a fun, enjoyable, educational, informational, good time.
Thank you.
Good time.
There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned to the next City Council meeting on October 14th, 2025. Thank you for joining us tonight.